Hi, it's Rob from the Gym 10. Hope you're well. Welcome to this legs, buns and Tums training session. Okay, grab yourself a pint of water. Cheers. Take a sip, lick around the lips, and put it safely to the side. Okay, so if you've been diagnosed with osteopenia, osteoporosis, or you know that you've got a problem with your bone density, I would highly recommend you go and speak to your physician, your GP, whoever you need to speak to, whoever's consulting with you, to work through a course of treatment for them. And before you take part in this training session, obviously consult with them first before taking part. Keep yourself effective on all your exercises today. Work through the range that's going to suit you. Keep it relevant to yourself and to your training as well. So if you're a runner or a cyclist, whatever, let's bear that in mind for this training session. So safe, relevant, and make sure it's effective, okay? So you're feeling like you're getting a good workout without feeling like it's overdeveloped or overstrained. So let's try and work through this. We're going to find a space, check around one way, check around the other, make sure we've got plenty of room. From there, we're just going to take an easy movement of taking our heels up and down off the floor. We're going to keep the balls of our feet down into the ground, so we're keeping a nice closed chain exercise. Now, as we're doing these, our knees are going to be tracking forward and back over our toes. As we do this, we're going to drive our pelvis forward. We're going to lift our chest up nice and high. We're going to swing our arms backwards and forwards through this plane. Now, as you can note, I'm doing this in barefoot. Now, it's a really good way of training. And the idea behind this is we are trying to get from big toe to little toe square down to the floor. We're feeling what happens in our muscles. We're feeling what's happening in our feet. So this should be nice and controlled. Now, if we've got at the pace, we can start feeling a bit more movement. Do you roll off the side of your heels? Do you run off the midpoint of your feet? Do you run off the big toes? Do you go off the little toes? How is your foot moving at the moment? And the assessment here is I want you to close your eyes and see if you can keep doing it. Now, if you go off balance, there's an indicator there for you. And it's proving you're going off sideways. So try and plant your heels toe to heel, flat down again. Close your eyes. Now, do you feel like you go off maybe to one direction? Could be over to the right, which means that you're pushing perhaps a little bit harder on the left. Or are you going to the left and pushing a bit harder off the right? Just keep working through this. Now, if you're fitter and stronger and you want to go for it, you can build it to a little bit of pace with here. It's all closed chain now. We're not taking the toes off the floor. The heels are tapping onto the ground. We're going to drive our pelvis and lift our chest up nice and high here. And that's our movement. We're going to keep working here. Now, we're going to reassess in a few seconds' time. So, as you're moving through this, are you feeling a bit of a strain on one side of one foot? Are you feeling the strain all the way central through your foot? If you are, that's great, because you're nice and centered. Are you feeling it more that you're straining the base of the heel? And if you are, consult with a good sports therapist, because then we can look at the dynamics of your foot and how you're moving. From there, let's rotate through our body. We're going to plant our heels on the floor, and we're going to make sure that our feet are a fist gap apart, our second toes are nice and parallel to each other. Now, as we rotate through, we can get our hips driven forward, our shoulders back into position. Now, here's another text. Keep moving on this, right? What is happening in your heels? Are you rocking and rotating? Or are you able to keep from your big toe to your little toe square down to the floor? Can you keep your toes and heels down to the ground as well? Now, if you can't, for me, in my opinion, if you can't keep toe to heel, down to floor, big toe, little toe down, you're going to have an imbalance through your body. Take it high and stretch and see if your pelvis can move side to side. And as you're doing it, can you keep big toe, little toe down to the floor, toes to heel down to the floor? Or do they come up? Now, if you're feeling a bit more energetic, you can build at the pace. If you're thinking this is too much, slow it down. As I go back to the start, safe, relevant, effective, all the way through this one, okay? To drive and move. Okay, so as you're doing it, are you rolling too much to the right, too much to the left? Are you plantering over? Where's it going? How's it feeling? Now correct it, okay? So if it's too much to the right, push a little bit harder on the left. Okay, keep going, keep going. Now, as you're working through this, we're going to try and get a bit more lateral movement in the hips. So you're going to go side to side, trying to work a bit more coronal plane movement here. Now, the idea of this is not a normal movement. It's a bit like a climbing position here. And we're snaking up to the ceiling. We've driven our pelvis forward, got a tightening now starting to happen in my glutes. So I know that my glutes are too far back. So I need to really push forward and extend through my hip flexors. So that's what I'm going to work on here. If you're feeling this in your hip flexors, then I want you to tighten your hip flexors and maybe sink back a little bit. So you're going to go back here. It might be that you're overextended. Okay. Now, if you can see your imagery in a mirror, in a glass, in a window, whatever you can see it on, maybe on your screen on your tablet, how are your hips getting swayed and swung side to side? Or are they staying still while your shoulder does all the exercise? So I'm looking at all the people on Zoom. You can get a bit more swagger in here. And I want you to reach and get it going. Now, as you're doing that swagger, do you collapse forward because your brain's thinking that's easier? Do you hyperextend because your body thinks that's easier? Or do you stay straight on from your ear, through your shoulder, through your hips, through your knees, through your toes? Are you in a nice neutral position? Now, if we bring our feet touching together, now we can start getting creative. Now our feet are touching together, and we're pushing, we're driving, reaching and turning, and we're trying to get as much movement into this as we can. Now as you're doing this, if you're falling off balance, great, pull it back in, really focus on those feet, ground to the floor, and tilt and turn, keep moving it. Awesome. I want you to get as much movement here in your pelvis as you can. I want it to be tilting up, down, and up, down on the diagonals. Okay, and I want you to be trying to get a little bit further each time. Or you might be getting tired now. And release, shake it out. From here, work through your butt kick. So, strength training for osteopenia, really, really important. A couple of things in there. One, this is closed chain or half closed chain. So we've got one leg in the air and the other one into the ground. So when you're in contact with the ground, we classify that as closed chain. And when one leg is swinging around, that's open chain. Okay. So from here, take a knee raise. Now, how high can you get that knee? That knee wants to be getting out to your rib cage, whilst your pelvis in alignment and square here. So that's where we want to be. So if you're here, come up and drive. Get it moving here. Square and straight. Square and straight. From here, stand on the right leg and lift that leg out to the side. Take notice to what happens to the standing foot. Here's another clue. If this foot turns out laterally to the side, or it immediately rotates too much for you, there is a shortening in one side of your hip and your femur. So can you correct it? Can you get it square? Can you change leg? Keep it working. Again, think straight line from ear, shoulder, hips, knees and toes. Get it square and drive. Lean into it. Make it work. This is all strength training, guys. Change leg. Circle that leg now. Maintaining posture. Hips drive forward. And at the moment, all the strength training we're doing is purely you lifting and moving your body around. But in planes of movement that don't feel normal. Now this foot, we're going to keep it so it doesn't even touch the floor. The standing leg has got to really work hard to hold your body in a centered position. Now from here, straight line from the torso through that hip flexor through to the knee. Shake it out, take a walk around. If you didn't feel that starting to cramp, I want you to take this next set a little bit higher on that leg. You might need a wall for balance. Check the standing foot, towing it in. Let's drive lateral out. Big movement. Again, feel what's happening in that torso. Get it nice and balanced. And again, feel that straight line through your body. You might need to pull your shoulder blades back. You might need to lift your torso up. And from here, we now circle it. So we go wide, and we circumvent that leg. We get it moving, the pelvis moving forward. Hip flexor screaming at us now. Again, going back to the start of the class. How's this standing foot working? Big toe, little toe. Is it driven down? We work 3 more here, 2 more here, 1 more here, and release. Shake it out. Good stuff. Awesome. Okay, from there, shaking it out. Can you go side bend? Love it. And from here, hands on top of your pelvis, hinge, reach down, slow pull back up, stretch, and elongate. Side bend, and rest. Do it again. Side bend, hinge, up, stretch, elongate, side flex, Take notice to what happened in your feet. Did your feet have to move around for you to balance? So here we go. Let's go. Side bend, forward fold, stand reach, side flex, bring the hands back to the middle. Ready? Let's go again. Side bend, big toe, little toe, square down to the floor. Deadlift through, stretch, reach, elongate. Side flex, and release. 1 more to go. Side bend again. Deadlift, straight leg. Take to standing elongation, interlock hands. Side flex, and release. From there, bring your arms forward, drive the pelvis forward, open the left, open the right. Keep the torso up, nice and high. Now, for our next set of exercises, if you feel like you need a chair or a pole to help you on the movement, grab one into it. You might want to come a little bit closer to a wall. Now, as you're doing this rotation, just take note of what's happening in your feet again. Are they able to position forwards? Is your pelvis driven forward? Is your chest lifted? And are you swinging the torso around? Or able you to keep it in plank? Here we go. Release from here. Grabbing a wall or a support in your right hand. Lift the right knee. Step forwards. Flex the back knee. Come back up. Stand. Balance. Come back in again. Now, say notice to where you are. Step. Flex the back knee. Standing. Push back in through balance. Straight leg raise. Come back in again. And again, keep the pelvis driven forward. So this is all body weight, strength training exercises. And if you struggle with any of these, you need to practice them. Drop into flex, stand. Can you maintain balance? Can you straight leg? Can you come back out again? Let's go again. So straight leg into standing lunge. Bend the back knee. Straight from stand, hold it back into balance. Straight leg raise, control back in, shake out your hips again. Looking good. Posture, chin up, chest up, drive. Slow control lower. Stand 5, 3-leg starts. Push balance. As you come into standing, you go straight leg elevation. Back down again. Kick out the hips. Shake it out again. Let's go again. Right leg, same leg every single time. We're dropping forward, we're standing, we're balancing, we're kicking forward, and we're bringing back in. Side flex, Go again. Step long right foot. Drop the back knee. Stand back up, control. Balance, straight leg. Last one here, you ready? Right leg forward, step. Balance, drop down into knee lunge. Step back up, straight from that front thigh. Straight leg raise. Come back down again. Side bend, relax. Walk it out. Grab a drink of water. Let's change leg. And here we go. Left leg. Step forward. Flex, Stand back up, balance, left leg, raise and drop. Check the standing leg, is it directly facing forward again? Step, core in nice and tight, shoulders raised, chest leveled, push back into elevation, straight leg raise, control back into position, side flex again, and again, let's go, step, drop the knee lunge, hold the balance, kick back up, pelvis drive forward, straight leg, return, side flex, and again, let's go. You're getting tired here, you're feeling your ankles, you're feeling your knees. Just think about keeping it safe, relevant, and effective for your movement. If you're thinking this is too easy, grab some weights into the exercise. Place them in your hands and keep it all in play. Strengthen movement back into standing. Target is every time is to try and keep that leg off the floor as you come back into that standing position. Step lunge, drop flex knee, back into standing, come back into balance. Oh, I lost my balance completely. No matter how fit you think you are, this is tough training. Last one, come on, let's go. Big step left. Feet nice and parallel to each other. Push off that strong leg. Take it back through into standing, straight leg, return. Okay, now, if you struggle with ankle dexterity and ankle movement, you're going to need something to place underneath your heels. But take us into simple squats. So we're going to place our heels on something level, something elevated, so you can get a bit of flexion into that ankle straight away. However, if you feel like you can do it with flat foot, do it with flat foot. But I want you to turn your feet so they're nice and square and parallel, and the knees are going to track the toes as much as possible. You're going to drop down into a squat, and breathe out, you're going to push back up and stand. Now, if that scared you completely, grab yourself a chair with a high chair, you're going to sit down in that chair, and if you need to, you push back off it, yeah? You work your level. If you've got the range, we want you to sit, and you should be able to get your heels and your tailbone talking to each other very closely. From here, we're going to lateral raise, control, lower the arms back down again. Sit down through into squat again. Breathe out, push up, lateral, control, slow, lower. Let's go again. You work your range, and again, if you feel like you need the weights, you bring them into the game. Shake out the legs, drop again. So this is all about trying to work the maximum range you can work through, safe and effectively. Now, if you're at the moment, you're at stage and you're just going, do you know what, just sitting into a chair and a stool is enough for me, it is enough for you. Okay, I'd highly recommend you keep working on ankle knee dexterity and flexibility for the rest of your life. Okay, to do that, you find time to make it happen. You do it daily, maybe 2, maybe 4 of these every single day. Breathe out, push up. And again, it's all about safe, relevant, effective movement. So it could be you're holding onto a stool, it could be onto a chair, it could be you're getting to here and then you're coming back and going, Rob, that's my range. Love it. You work what's important to you. Push, drive, and release, shaking it up. Okay, so from here, we're going to work on some standing ab work. Now again, as always, you can bring a weight into one hand if you choose to. Bring the weight in the right hand, we're going to stand on the right leg. We're going to tilt, and we're going to go as far as we can with a reach. This weight here is 2.5 kilos. It could be a bag of sugar for you, it could be a can. Doesn't matter what it is, but I want you to try and find that straight line from weight through shoulder, through pelvis, through knee to heel. We're going to try and get it in. Level, tilt, hold. Feel this pinch. Stand, release, shake it out, walk it out. If you can feel that pinch here, drive your pelvis forward into that straight position and lift yourself up. Let's go again. Out, tilt, lift, and release. Shake it out. Now, we're going to take the shake it out. So here we go. Push, tilt, tilt, lift, tilt, lift, tilt, lift. Two more. Tilt, lift. Last one. And rest. Shake it out. Change arms. Gets tough, this one. Check your feet position, feet fist gap apart, toes and feet facing directly forwards. We lift the left hand up, we stretch, we elongate, we lift up off the right foot off the floor by lifting our hip and pelvis high. We tilt to the side. We tilt back in, shake it out and rest. When off balance like me, loving you up. You're challenging yourself. Stretch again, lift and hitch, tilt, lift, shake it out, walk it out. One more here, please. Everything you're doing is so important to the biomechanics of your body. Tilt. Try and get this as long a line as you can through your body. Lift, release, shake it out. Okay, now, your choice. Let's see if you can leave the shake it out bit out. Hitch, hitch. Tilt. Lift back up. Tilt. Whoa, come back up. And again, tilt. Come back up. Two more now, go on, tilt. Come back up. One more, tilt. And come back up. And release, shake it out. Love that. Such a good way of really developing everything on the lateral side of our bodies. So from here, let's bring the arms forward, swing open and back again, chest staying up nice and high, glutes engaged. From here, stretch overhead, tilt left, tilt right, tilt left, tilt right, and release. Interlock the fingers, roll one way, roll back the other way. Circumvent the hips, give them a good roll out. Counterclockwise, go back the opposite way. And from here, side bend. Really, really well trained. So as always, strength training, really, really important. If you struggle with osteoporosis, try and make it a little bit more close chain so that you're connected to the ground, so it's taking the impact out. And then what you're going to find is the strength training will really help. Then work with your consultant. See if you can bring in a bit more open chain. So a little bit of impact is really good for the bone density, osteoblastic growth. So they're getting in there and building the bones. That's really, really important. Hope you enjoyed that training session. If you think it can help someone, please pass it on to them. As always, if it can help, please get in contact with your trained. And as always, grab yourself a water. Hydrate. Cheers. See you next time for the next one. Awesome training set. Cheers. Oh.